If you are planning for a year, sow rice. If you are planning for a decade, plant trees. If you are planning for a lifetime, educate people. But what is education? What is it to you? Knowledge, understanding, and a piece of paper? Well, a lot of people have knowledge, but only 34% of people have a piece of paper. More specifically, a piece of paper that says you graduated from a 4-year college. And I want to change that. No, not the piece of paper itself, of course, but the number of people in possession of one, and hopefully, in time, the path they take to acquire one. In today's day and age, there's more information available to the average person than there has ever been in the history of the world. Anyone, no matter your income or social status, has access in one way or another to a library of information larger than every physical library in the history of the world put together, either through your phone or laptop or, ironically, your local library perhaps. Whatever your method, we all have access to this information. I am, of course, referring to the internet, the World Wide Web, as it were. And as a result of this open source bevy of information, we live in a world where anyone can learn. Anyone can become educated on any topic if you're determined enough. Never has there existed such opportunity. Education used to be reserved for the rich, the only people with the spare cash to even afford such a thing. Then public schools came around, and suddenly everyone had access to a basic level of education. But today, everyone has access to all the information. Some would say perhaps a little too much information, as the fake news issue is becoming increasingly problematic. Nevertheless, the internet is here to stay, and the opportunities it provides will continue to grow. And this is a beautiful thing. We all like the internet. We may use different corners of it, but we all use it. Except for my grandma, of course. But I don't think we as a society are using it enough. Or, to word it better, I don't think we're utilizing it enough. Some would say, including myself, that the world is coming to a bit of a crossroads when it comes to education. Just 40 years ago, someone could earn enough to feed himself and his family with just a high school diploma. But a quickly advancing world is changing that. More and more fields are requiring a level of expertise that can only be taught. So-called unskilled labor jobs are being taken over by automation, leaving the only jobs available to be skilled labor jobs. Jobs that require a degree. As of now, the government provides, and has provided since the 1800s, public high schools. So for many, the answer seems clear. Why don't we just extend our education system an additional 4 years to include college? But college can be expensive, hard, and, to be honest, boring. Simply not everyone is cut out to just sit in a classroom. Plus, once you graduate high school, the circumstances have changed. Now you're 18, you're an adult, capable of making your own decisions and taking on legal responsibilities, which, depending on your situation, may include taking care of your family, your children, your sisters, your brothers. You may not have the time, the schedule openings, or even the energy just to sit in a classroom. Whatever your specific situation might be, I'm sure there's been a valid reason at one point or another to not attend the 4-year school. Perhaps the most talked about issue, however, is the debt, because there's a lot of it. Student debt in America currently, as of the time of this recording, is sitting at $1.6 trillion, larger than the GDP of Australia. Now, there are many factors that have put us in this situation, but one of the most egregious is tuition. Public 4-year colleges have almost doubled since the year 2000, and don't even get me started on private colleges, which have increased by $20,000 since the year 2000. Which is absolutely absurd, because it has not gotten 2 times better. And building off of that, wages have simply not kept up with the rate of production since around the 70s, which means that today people have less money to pay off that increasing student debt. It's a problem that has become the center of many political debates and a centerpiece of countless more campaigns. Some suggested making community colleges free, and even further, some have suggested making public colleges free. And going even further than that, some have suggested that we wipe out the student debt and just forgive it entirely. But I think there's a different way around this. Getting colleges to lower their rates, or converting state colleges into entirely free public institutions, or forgiving the $1.6 trillion in student debt entirely, will all be costly, lengthy, difficult endeavors. I have a different plan, and it's something that we already do at a lower level of education, which makes me confident that we can do it at the next level as well. Because today, in America, if for whatever reason you dropped out of high school, or just couldn't attend for whatever your personal reason, for example, maybe your mother got sick and you had to drop out at 17 to help pay the bills, or maybe you're just a stupid 15-year-old making stupid decisions and thinking school is completely pointless, whatever the reason, there is another way. Our government has provided an alternative, a different road, but one that nets you the same opportunities and puts you in the same position. The General Education Diploma, or as you probably call it, a GED, is the legally recognized equivalent of a high school diploma. It's one test, it's got a few sections, one for math, science, social studies, and language arts. Pass this test, and you will earn yourself a GED, putting you in the same position with the same opportunities as everyone else who went to high school the normal way and completed all 4 years. The program has been a game changer for millions, as watching some Khan Academy videos and taking free practice tests online is a far more practical solution than asking 40-year-olds to literally go back to high school. People who miss their opportunity to get an education in the normal manner can go to their local library or use their own tech to get online and learn everything they ever could have learned in high school and even more. The internet is and has been an educational tool for many, taking the place of our traditional schools and providing the necessary education level to earn yourself a diploma, albeit in a non-traditional manner. So there are already millions of Americans out there who have used the internet to earn themselves a diploma, to make up years and years of schooling that they missed. So what if we, and you can probably deduce where I'm going with this, did the same thing for college? Just imagine, instead of going tens of thousands of dollars into debt, sometimes even being forced to quit a full-time job in order to open the schedule space, to sit down and spend 4 years worth of time to get that bachelor's degree you need to forge a better life for yourself and to provide for your loved ones. Just imagine if you could take advantage of the libraries of information available online for free, and available at any time of the day, mind you. Learn what you need to learn, take a test, and earn yourself a bachelor's degree. Now look, some people need the years of education. Some people need the class and the structure to learn, and that's fine. But some don't. And more importantly, some can't. What about them? What about the people who want to get educated, want a degree, but are rightfully scared of taking on $50,000 of debt? Or maybe they just hate classrooms. It's not like they're ever gonna have to be in a classroom setting when they enter the workforce. Should that really be a barrier of success, forcing people to be good at a skill set that is basically inapplicable to any career? The fact is that we have access to the information. It's all there for us. We just need to set up an infrastructure to take advantage of it. We need to create a GED equivalent for college degrees. Now, this doesn't mean you're gonna be able to just log on online and get a degree from Harvard, because that would be very, very difficult to enact on a college by college basis. Instead, I think it should be a government certification. Just like every state has a GED, which when earned is kind of just a certification from the government saying that yes, you are just as educated as any other high schooler, but technically speaking, you do not actually hold a degree from any specific institution. So I would propose the same thing here. The government can gather a group of deans and professors from across the country and have them all work together to create a GED style equivalent for a number of the most popular college programs, minus perhaps the medical ones for I think what would be obvious reasons. And we'll give the deans and professors the artistic freedom, so to speak, to make this test as long and with as many parts as they feel is necessary to say, yes, these people are indeed as educated and as knowledgeable as someone who just attended the 4 years of college normally. And I think this test should be available to be taken at any time post 18 years old, even if you are already in college. Because for those people that feel they do need some college, maybe they feel they need 1 year or 2 years or whatever it is before they feel they're comfortable in order to take this test. So what this means is if you wanted to earn a bachelor's in liberal arts, you will have complete freedom. You can go to college for 4 years, go for 3 years, 2 years, 1 year. I don't care. I just want to put that decision in your hands. Whenever you're ready, whenever you have reached the necessary level of education and knowledge, you can go out right then and there, take a test, and get the certificate that proves you have that knowledge. And this could have huge impact for so many people in so many different ways. Aside from opening the door for millions to take the knowledge in their head and actually be able to acquire something that they can hang on their wall or put on their resume, it will also allow numbers of people to skip the debt, keep the job, and still push forward and advance their lives. And like I said, we already do this for high school. We already do it. We know how to enact something like this. We can do it for college as well. And it benefits everybody, except perhaps the colleges specifically themselves, but screw them and their overpriced textbooks. I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it. There are simply too many societal benefits to ignore. It will likely reduce the national student debt, increase the number of certifiably educated Americans, and thereby increasing the average salaries of many Americans, and somewhat ease the issue of whether or not to have free public colleges. Because now people can use the internet as their free public college. Now we have the infrastructure to allow people to take advantage of the knowledge that many people are learning anyway. And I don't even know if I'll take advantage of it myself, but I think the option should be there. I want the American people to have that choice, to take the knowledge they know they have and prove it. And the people who still need to or want to attend college can't, possibly at a more affordable price, as the colleges will now actually have something very real to compete with instead of just other colleges. But the people who don't or can't attend 4-year colleges can now join in the economic revolution that we're all experiencing.